My name is Lindsay Phillips, and this is my presentation on the retraction paper about caffeine and liver fibrosis. So first, let's go over the background. Alex Gressner and his son Olaf Gressner were a pair of German liver researchers and professors at the University of Aachen. Axel served in the field of physical sciences and mathematics. He had a discipline in chemistry and specialized in hepatology. Olaf followed in his father's footsteps quite closely as he also served in the same field, discipline, and specialty as his father. Axel, the father, was regarded as a highly esteemed professional in the field for 3 decades, with his integrity as a scientist remaining unquestioned. While Olaf, on the other hand, was relatively new to the field of liver research. It is important to note that throughout the informational article regarding the retracted paper, it appears that Olaf Gressner was found guilty for fraud, not his father, Axel. Since Olaf's punishment was clearly articulated, while Axel was not mentioned besides the fact that he worked on the research with his son. Regardless, together the father and son worked alongside their colleagues at the University Hospital in Aachen, where they declared that caffeine consumption could serve as a potential therapy for liver fibrosis. So the summary. First, the Gressner boys and their collaborators claimed to be the first to discover a molecular connection between caffeine doses and liver fibrosis in 2008. They stated that drinking coffee somewhat prevented people from developing liver fibrosis, despite what other specialists in the field contended their alleged statement. Furthermore, the Gressner researchers reported in their follow-up letter that administering caffeine into rats inhibited the expression of a crucial protein involved in connective tissue growth, which is essential for liver scar development. However, that evidence was weaker than the researchers had originally indicated. So the authors significantly altered their manuscript, thus falsified data. They did this during the galley stage without notifying the editor nor the associate editor, so that their paper was accepted without any modifications before publication. First, they reduced the number of rats studied from 20 to 40 rats total. Then, during the proof stage, standard deviation values were omitted, and more notably, certain results were entirely changed. Furthermore, a new paragraph was added at the end of the paper, ultimately leading to the consensus that the Gressner boys and their colleagues falsified their results. However, it remains unclear if their misconduct was intentional or simply just a result of sloppiness. Keith Lindor, a Mayo Clinic physician and editor of hepatology, was the first to express concerns, and in the beginning of 2010, he initiated his own investigation into the research conducted by the Gressner boys. However, the journal concluded that no retractions were warranted. Additionally, Scott Friedman, a prominent liver specialist at Mount Sinai Medical Center in New York, he stated that the retracted study was insignificant and would have no impact on patient care. Nevertheless, the University of Aachen contacted the editor-in-chief of Journal Hepatology. His name was Didier Samuel. He contacted them regarding their investigation for potential misconduct, which then prompted Samuel's journal, to launch its own inquiry, leading to the article's official retraction. So the discussion of consequences. So in this case of research misconduct, it has significant ethical implications, not only for the individual involved, but also for the broader scientific community. Olaf Gressner's involvement in the fraudulent research has had serious consequences for his career. For example, following the investigation into his misconduct, Olaf is no longer employed at the University of Aachen. This misconduct likely resulted in the loss of future research funding and the tarnishing of his credibility as a researcher. Additionally, the journal Hepatology quickly retracted his new published article titled Identification of Connective Tissue Growth Factor as a Hepatic Negative Acute Phase Protein. This was retracted shortly after discovering the fraud investigation, signaling a breach of trust within the scientific community. The group's decision to avoid submitting to Samuel's journal in the future also illustrates the reputational damage caused by this incident. Beyond Gressner's personal career, this misconduct has broader implications. Co-authors of the research could face reputational damage as well, especially if they are unaware of the fraudulent data. Research institutions hold major accountability for research misconduction. So the University of Achkin will likely suffer from the public fallout, losing credibility in its research standards. Furthermore, this incident can have far-reaching effects on the scientific community as it raises concerns about the integrity of published research. It also has the potential to undermine public trust in the scientific findings, which can impact public health policy and the application of research in the real world. This case serves as a reminder of the importance of ethical standards in scientific research and the consequences that can arise when those standards are violated. And these are my references.